Okay, so I want to share with folks how to package something in Illustrator, but I've done that in another video, but I also need to talk about Adobe Typekit fonts and fonts in general. Let me unlock my layers here. We're having a problem in that Adobe Typekit does not package fonts, and there's not an easy workaround on that. They're kind of pinning software down pretty well with the subscriptions, and now they're trying to pin down fonts so that they're not easily shareable. That can be a problem when it comes to trying to grade your work, and it also is a problem when we are out there in the industry trying to ensure that our service providers or our vendors or our printers can output our stuff. So it's becoming problematic, especially if there's any troubleshooting that needs to go on. So here's what I want you to do. So I have a layer that has this messaging on it. You can see I'm going to turn it off and on. And this is, for the most part, these are currently fonts. They're not outlined. So if I wanted to, I could still edit them and, type different words in here. But what's happening is when you package your stuff, it doesn't collect that font. So what we have to do is, first step, duplicate this layer that has the text in it, or any layer with text in it. You can click and drag on that and go to the little plus sign, and that will duplicate it, okay? Lock and turn off the original layer. We're gonna work with the copy layer. The reason why I duplicate the layer is because down the road, if somebody asks you what font you used and wants to kind of have some things unified, maybe across platform or across an entire campaign or multiple pieces, you won't be at a loss as to answer that question. So you want to keep the original type intact, because once you do what I'm about ready to show you, which is outlining it, you can no longer identify the typeface by the control panel for type. So here's what we do. We click on the object. I'm going to shift click because I know the one below it has also not been outlined. Where it is already, nope, I don't think it's not outlined as either. So let me shift click on all of them, and you would go to type, and this is with the black arrow or selection tool, type and create outlines. Now what that did is it's no longer associated with a font file. You can see that now you have nodes. These are all vector paths. They're editable in this way. They're not editable as far as copywriting, that kind of editing. Now, once you've done that, make sure you have images. If you've used any image reference, that they're in their own layer. Make sure you have gone to File and Place to put those images in. Don't copy and paste images from Photoshop or the internet or wherever to Illustrator. So this is File, Place. If you do that, then it makes your Illustrator file way too large. So just, a reminder there. Now I'm going to go to File and Package, and it's asking me to save the document. So sure. And I'm going to package this to, say, my desktop, or I'll just take it to my Spring 2020 stuff. And I wanted to select that folder, and I'm going to package it. Now, the thing about packaging is it will copy links. Linked graphics are those that you did a file place on, okay? So it will copy those. There should be a images folder. It will collect those links in that folder. It will also copy fonts, except Adobe fonts, and that is where we're running into problems. So I'm going to hit package, hit OK. That fonts is basically telling me fonts are copyright protected. Hit OK, and I can also click show package just to make sure it's in here. Now I deleted my image links because this was my submission to the United Nations messaging, and I didn't think they really cared to see my images that I used for reference. But here you'll see what fonts I used. These are in the hidden layer, but it still packaged them, and it also included my Illustrator file. Now I would zip that file. Let me go to my desktop here. I would zip that file as soon as I find it. So I put it in my Spring, and here it is, my UN submission folder. I would right click, go to compress, which is in this case on a PC, it's not, you don't see compress. On a Mac you would, about 4 or 5 items down. But here I'm going to do send to and compress, and then I zip that. That is the file I would turn in, is this zip file. Oops, I just put it up inside of my submission. But this is the file I would, the folder I would turn in. It's a zipped folder. Please do not turn in just an AI file, especially if you have image reference and also fonts. I mean, you know, go ahead and get in the practice of packaging so you can get your fonts. But that's what you turn in. Do not turn in a zipped AI file only. So that concludes what I wanted to go over on this recording. So how to turn in your work and how to deal with fonts and outlining them.